sporadically back in the old territorial days. Harley Race, Terry Funk, and Ric Flair used to bring the title to Knoxville, the old Southeastern promotion run by Ron Fuller for a number of years. They were an NWA affiliate. But very seldom did the title make it all the way up here into the Tri-Cities area. And tonight it's here, and we are darn happy it is.
You know, before we saw this match, we saw the referee come this way, stand right in the middle of the ring, and hold that NWA heavyweight belt up right in our direction. That belt was staring at us, and that was a very impressive sight to see.
The old domed belt. The NWA still using the same belt that was presented, the same style belt that was presented to Jack Briscoe for the first time in 1974 in Houston, Texas. That is the same style of belt that's being used today. The men who have held that belt, as we said earlier, that list is just long, and it is a who's who of wrestling.
We got a job to do, Ricker, and let's go ahead and let's get to the match. Chris Harris, I can't believe I'm saying this, sends Jeff Jarrett down, and Jarrett's saying he pulled his hair.
Jeff Jarrett, accompanied tonight by sensational Sherry Martel, manager of champions. She managed Harlem Heat to the WCW Tag Team Championship. She managed a lot of greats. She's managed Shawn Michaels. She's managed Randy Savage. She has been a champion herself in the AWA and the WWF/E. And she has just been a, what more can you say about Sherry Martel's credentials?
I mean, you pretty much covered it. I mean, we got a lot of big names here tonight. They all came out to support the March of Dimes. Jarrett holding Harris down right now. Looks like he's got him in some form of maybe an overhead hammerlock or something, maybe a top wrist lock or whatnot.
Jeff Jarrett made his name a name for himself back in the mid and late 80s in Memphis, Tennessee with the USWA. He's also wrestled in World Class, and I find this interesting. He actually held the World Class Tag Team title at one time with the legendary Mil Mascaras. So he has been around. He's done it all. Him and Jerry the King Lawler. He and Jerry the King Lawler have had a history that's a mile long and just as wide. Former WWE Intercontinental Champion and much more.
You look in this ring, Marty Ricker, and you're looking at tons of talent. You're looking at a former WCW champion.
That's right, he sure was.
A former WCW United States heavyweight champion, the current NWA champion. The list goes on of the titles this man's held and the places this man has been, and Johnson City is just another one of them.
I don't really consider his WCW title reign, since if I'm not mistaken, he beat David Arquette for the title, the actor. So I don't really want to consider that one when he defeated David Arquette for the title back during the Vince Russo fiasco.
Well, you know, David Arquette was one man he beat. I might be mistaken here, but I do believe he went rounds with big sexy Kevin Nash before. And he's went rounds with Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner, the big bad booty daddy. But now he's going his rounds with the Wildcat Chris Harris. And if I'm not mistaken, these two Wednesday night on NWA TNA will be going up against each other again for the NWA Championship.
It may be Jarrett the challenger and Harris the champion Wednesday night if Chris Harris wins the title here tonight in Johnson City, Tennessee. Referee, what in the world is Eric Foster doing? Getting involved in the match there with Chris Harris grabbing his hand?
Yes, sir. Jeff Jarrett and Chris Harris. Wednesday night, you're right, Marty Ricker. It could be different because this match is sanctioned by Bill Bearings and NWA Wildside, but we have Sherry Martel on the outside pulling the hair and choking Chris Harris.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of similarities between Chris Harris and Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett started his career primarily as a tag team wrestler. He was a tag team champion in Memphis with Billy Travis, I think one of his first tag team partners that he won a title with. He's won tag team championships with numerous people, including the late, great Kerry Von Erich. He was a tag team champion with Kerry Von Erich. Then he made his transition to singles wrestling, and as he stands now, he's on the mountaintop, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Chris Harris is starting his career mainly as a tag team wrestler, and he's hoping to parlay that tag team success into an NWA title reign, which could happen right here tonight in Johnson City, Tennessee. And I tell you what, I don't think the NWA belt has ever changed hands in Johnson City. I know in '89 it changed hands in Nashville with Rick Steamboat and Ric Flair, but It's never changed hands here in Johnson City. We have a sleeper hold applied by the champion.
No, sir. Once you get up here, that belt has never changed hands in this area. It's been changed hands in Nashville a number of times with TNA now running in the Asylum, the fairground in Nashville. But I like what you were talking about with Chris Harris and Jeff Jarrett. Also Jeff Jarrett, a number of years back, if you remember, had long hair, but lost a hair match against, I want to say, X-Pac, and lost his hair, and he's vowed to keep his hair short. The same could be said about Chris Harris. In a couple years, you might be looking at Jeff Jarrett 10 years ago when you look at Chris Harris.
Second-generation superstar, Jeff Jarrett's father, Jerry Jarrett, a staple in the Memphis area for a number of years, and now one of the heads of the NWA TNA organization. NWA TNA not actually an NWA member, but still they bring a lot of great wrestling to Nashville under the banner of the NWA.
Yes, sir, and these two guys are just two great superstars that promotion runs. Jeff Jarrett had control for about 70% of the match, I would say. That's a pretty fair statement, as he continues to be in control over Chris Harris. Looks like he's going to go for a brainbuster, a vertical suplex. Chris Harris is going to say, no, sir, you're not going to get me in that.
Small package, 1-2, kick out. And I tell you what, Chris Harris was only a hand slap away from being the new NWA champion.
Yes, sir, devastation move there. 1, 2, only a 2 count on Chris Harris. I believe Jeff Jarrett probably should have hooked the leg there. He might have been able to get 4 to 5 different promotions, help put this show together tonight. And NWA just being one of them is Jeff Jarrett with a form of a sleeper hold there on Chris Harris. Chris Harris, he's going down. He's going down quick.
Boy, it looks like Harris's face has turned a little blue. It looks like Jeff is really cutting off the circulation.
Jarrett's telling me to get ready to ring the bell. What's is it going to be? Is he going to go down? No, Chris Harris, he's going to get that arm up. The match is going to go on. And Jeff Jarrett, he's going to show everybody why he is the NWA champion, but Chris Harris is going to show him why he's the challenger right now with that back body drop.
NWA, the oldest and largest sanctioning body in professional wrestling. NWA, a conglomeration or an alliance, if you will, of numerous promotions all across the country. I don't know the latest tally of how many promotions are under the banner of the NWA, but the NWA, known for their traveling champions, their champions put hundreds of thousands, or let's put thousands of miles each year in defending that belt. And Jeff Jarrett and Chris Harris make the trip to Johnson City tonight for this event for the March of Dimes.
Also like to mention Jeff Jarrett and his problems he has had with the great Hulk Hogan in the past, and very recently actually traveling all the way to Japan to beat up on Hogan. And those two, you got to know that those two, the story with them two is not.
Jeff Jarrett and Hulk Hogan were supposed to have a couple of matches for NWA TNA, but an injury. Hogan had to have some surgery. There's a count, 1-2, and Sherry Martel puts the foot on the bottom rope. As I said, Hulk Hogan had some surgery, had to undergo surgery, and was unable to fulfill that commitment. But you've got Jeff Jarrett, who's wrestled the likes of Sting lately. Lex Luger has made an appearance in NWA TNA. So Jeff Jarrett, no slouch, and Sherry Martel has Chris Harris.
Sherry Martel, the sort of like Rebecca Lynn. Whoa now, but Chris Harris, the double headbutt. Is Sherry going to get it? Yes, sir.
There's a roll-up. 1, 2, count of 2.
Only a 2 count on that schoolboy roll-up there. Chris Harris a little upset. Chris Harris wants that gold, and he wants it bad. Reverse Irish whip there. What's he going to hit? Suplex. Yes, sir. Vertical suplex. Looks like maybe a brain buster on. Down into cover. 1, 2, 3.
And Jeff Jarrett beats Chris Harris with the help of sensational Sherry Martel. Harris had Jarrett up for what appeared to be a brain buster, and Sherry Martel reaches in, trips the leg. Jarrett falls on top, gets the 1, 2, 3, and Jeff Jarrett retains the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure also. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great show. For Marty Ricker, I'm Blue Fire Cody Isis. Thanks for watching.